Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. Happy Friday and welcome to the last talk in the series JavaScript CC New Year Week. My name is Vasily and I'll be the host of this talk today. I will help you to communicate with our speakers. Again, I will remind you rules real quick. Rules are very simple. Enjoy and ask your questions into the comments. No matter what platform do you use, we are community or YouTube. I will see all your questions and I will do my best to answer all the questions to the speakers after the talk. Um, and let me introduce our speakers to you. It's Vitaly Kantish and Oleg Poznak, my friends and colleagues. Hello, guys.
Hey,
Hello, guys.
Hey. How are you today? How is it going? How's the weather in your location?
It goes
yeah,
wonderful. Yeah, please
yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
raining today.
Yeah, it's cool, really cool. We're preparing for Christmas festivities. So yeah, but the
Great.
weather is not so good as before, 2
Yeah,
weeks ago.
hope it will get better. Yes, so that was
Yeah,
my next question. Did you already prepare it to Christmas and New Year, or you have a lot of things to do?
well, kind of something on the way, but something's probably a bit prepared.
Okay, hope you will enjoy it. I'm excited. I'm looking forward seeing your presentation because, guys, to be honest, all those 3D things that are happening in the browser are true magic for me. So I don't know how you do this. Really, it's a pure magic, and for me, it's like another universe. Yeah, and especially as far as I understand, your talk is about that you had some 2D references and you had to, considering all the requirements, you had to build 3D scene in the browser. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's part of my presentation really. Ales is going to share his thoughts about different things.
Yep,
Okay. All right.
about some
Well,
complicated stuff, tough things.
Well, then I'm excited even more, and I'm very happy I haven't participated in any dry runs, so I will see this for the very first time, and our guests also. Yeah, guys, won't be delaying the talk anymore. This ten is yours. Unless you can
Yep.
share when it's comfortable, and you can start. Let me know if you need any help. I will be there somewhere in the background.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having us on, and I'm going to present the presentation about when we have some problems, a disaster on a project, and how we can cope out it. But first of all, because before we will have the sneak peek of this topic, I would like to introduce myself. That I've been working at the PAM for almost 3 years. In a week, it will be like 3 years, and mostly work as a React developer. Yes, and my position, my role in this project also as a React developer. Vitaly will share his points on 3D because he was responsible for that. And I will just point out to our people, to our guys, some complexity and problems in the project and how you can avoid this. So move on to the next slide. Um, well, first of all, I would like to introduce a bit context and the settings of that. And the first point is that our client is from Middle East, and there is a good old movie, and there is a phrase from that movie that's East, especially Middle East, is a delicate matter. Yes, and you have to be careful with this. Usually, these people they have hotter blood than others. They can be really hectic and compulsive even sometimes. So with our clients, we experience this, and you need to handle this also. So, for example, just a short example. A few times we encountered such idea that our customer he says like he expected these things to be done yesterday, but we got to know this only today in the morning. So that's what I in like Middle East and some hectic stuff and not predictable behavior sometimes. Another point is that our position in this collaboration was like we're dependable, and our customer has stronger position over PAM. He can leverage us, and we don't have enough space for maneuver. If something goes wrong, it's not so easy to do this. So in some projects with some clients, it's easier to do. In our case, it was really difficult. And the application itself, next point is that this is a complex application. And as Vasily mentioned before, first of all, we think that it would be emptied with 3D and it would be the bigger part of the application. But suddenly, we also realized that there are so much charts and tables, and we need to work and manipulate with all of this. So it also was growing, kind of a bit surprising. But yeah, this is the essence of our application. And the next point is underlined, and I would say that this is probably the critical or the crucial in this list. Is we also have another partner. It's not a client, but another collaborator and the partner on this project, and we are dependable on him because this client is responsible for the design and requirements. And on our next slides, we will see that often it was a bottleneck and it was a reason of delays and other problems in our case, because we couldn't be responsible for that, and we're totally, absolutely dependable on him in this case. So this slide, I would say, has the second priority or importance in all my presentation. And here we see like warning lights. If you see something like that, if you're going to kick off the project, or you're going to start something, and you see one thing, something from this list, you have to be careful. You have to have plan how to deal with this. So in the first one, in our case, because we have another client, not client, but partner, as I mentioned before, we had requirements and it was delayed week by week. So often, very often, and the design and other stuff was been changing over the days. So you need to keep it in mind. If you have this, just highlight it for yourself. You need to handle this somehow. Another point, with all this mess and stuff sometimes and changes in your project and design and requirements, you still have fixed dates and you can postpone it, you can change it, you can schedule it. So it was our case. Work or requirements are changing, but the date's still the same. And even if we had this, the next point is reports of delays. If we had these problems with changes and so on and so forth, still we couldn't discuss it and gain some time for us to develop it on time. So unfortunately, sometimes it can be a possibility on your project. So we're dependable. We can't create rules on the project. So, and because of that, here I just want to point out a bit the status of the project when it was started, and we came to the point that we expected that if we have some problems on the project, if we have some delays, or for example, Figma and design was changed yesterday or today in the morning, and in evening we have another one, and all this stuff, some kind of mess, then we are expecting that we'll have discussions, we'll highlight these points, and we'll have a reschedule of delivery time for our project or for some features of our project. But in reality, it expressed with such things like we had massive overtimes on the project and we had limited member in our team. And I just give an example of one of the member of our team. In 1 month, he had like 120 hours of overtime. If you can imagine, this is really a huge one because usually per month we work like 68 hours, yes, so it's like twice more. So you can imagine the massiveness of overtimes on this project. And because of that also, how we were accumulating the tech debt, and the quality of code was not so cool. It was declining also, but it was a sacrifice to have good pace and to deliver at least something that our customer was expecting. And also, as I said, there were some delays in our delivery. So, and the conclusion of that, of course, we survived, we delivered. It was nice, so we continue to collaborate. They're happy with this now, but it could be better. It could be better. So just keep it in mind. And this lessons learned section, I would say that this is the first priority or importance of my presentation. So as I mentioned before, if you see some warning lights, what can you do? How can you prepare this? What is the contingency plan for this case? Uh, of course, if you have an opportunity to discuss these problems or delays with the customer, it's better to do this. If he's not deaf and he hears you, then it's really cool. You can postpone something, you can schedule or reschedule something. It's really nice. But in our case, very often we didn't have such an opportunity. So we had to survive without this opportunity. And what can you do? How can you prepare? If we didn't get to this point of bottleneck, the toughest time, how can you prepare for that? So you need to understand the tools and how you will work with this. And in our case also, it was really cool to know, and we're still in the process to get this, to have deployment automation. It also can speed up the delivery and make your life easier, can make your life easier. Another point is in our case also, we need to have this ramp up of the space because we had limited number of people in our team developers, especially on front-end side. And the huge amount of work or the biggest amount of work was on the front-end side. And we had only a few members and we needed really many people, maybe like 3 times more, at least twice more than we had before. And because of that, we started to accumulate or ramp up our team. And it was really difficult because newcomers, our new members, they had to have the account and access to the system of our clients, but it was impossible. They couldn't work successfully or productively because they didn't have it. And at that moment, the period of onboarding to getting this or obtaining this creds, it was taken like 2 weeks at least 2 weeks. And we have like, for example, in a week, we need to deliver something, we need to show the result, but those guys will be onboarding for 2 weeks. So we just do not have this time. So we tried also to do this as we could. And because of that, as it's written in parentheses, that you need to know maybe there are some other projects from this client and there are some spare developers or just like free developers with this account who could join in this moment of crisis on your project and to help you to close this gap and to speed up your delivery. And also another point is sourcing and to know other streams and projects, particularly from these clients, because also it will make your life easier. Because in our case also, there were some projects from this client before, and we were able to deliver
Sorry, looks like we have
yeah.
little technical. Oh, okay, Alice, you're
Yeah, it's
here.
okay now?
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
little bit of a glitch here. I'm sorry. We have unstable internet sometimes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's a better, guys. Yeah. Okay, so I will continue that in our case also some guys who came to our project, they shared with us some things which really made our delivery faster. But initially we didn't know this, and it was really cool to have some guys from other projects of these clients, and if they share something with you, it's really cool. And some of the technologies or parts of the application, they also can be done before you. I mean, you are not the first person who will create bicycle. So in our case, also just go and investigate, find out for yourself. Do they have something? Do you use, for example, for authentication or in our case 3D? Or also we have a problem with some of the chart. It was very complicated. We didn't find any library who could help us to implement this. we fighting with this problem for 2-3 days or a week, and after that we decided to create our own kind of library. And after that, some members from 2 projects, probably of the same client, they came to us to share our experience, and we just shared with them our workings or our practices. So this is also very helpful and a good point which help you to make your life easier. And another one also, if you have all these crises and problems, probably none of us likes it and would like to continue on the live under this pressure. Yes, and people try to compel you or force you to work faster, and you just exhausted and don't have any power and anything for motivation. How can you motivate people? Probably one of the best mean from the history. Yes, this is what money has some kind of magic. Yes, in this sphere. So you need to understand. You need to negotiate with top managers. Probably do you have some volume for paid overtimes, and you need to negotiate it and clarify and agree with this. So this is important as well. And another point, when we pass this preparation time and you are in this full speed delivery, what can you do in this case? So in our case, we ramped up the number of our developers, and we were able to split tickets. And this is definitely a good idea to split features or complicated tasks to some shorter parts, easier parts. And in our case also, we took, for example, with a chart, we split to some different people because we had at that time pretty decent number of developers, and they were working simultaneously, and we could deliver this task twice or thrice, 3 times faster than if it worked only one developer. And of course, this is a general approach, but yeah, it works. Still, it works. And also, when at our project, changes were constant, and you need to manage this also, and prioritization in real time. This is something which should be done, because yesterday we thought that this one is important, but in the morning our client or customer came and said like he expecting something different, and you need to adjust, align yourself to this. And in our case also, visible stuff was super important for our clients, even if something not so cool in some minor things, but if it's visible, if it's on the page, if it's you can catch it with your eye, then really you need to work with this. So this is probably a particular case for our project, but you need to keep it in your mind. And another point, protect your team. Definitely, if you lose your team, if you don't have a good, healthy, salubrious atmosphere in your team, it will be difficult to deliver. The atmosphere should be conducive, and it will help people to understand that we're in one team, we can defend each other. Because if you lose your motivation, even if all the time this is just constant stress and push forward, you can just be broken. And yeah, we need to protect our people as we can, just to communicate, to clarify, to have some talks. This is important. And about communication, the last point is here, and the communication more about our meetings and calls. I think not so many people, probably, yes, like many meetings and to have calls, so you need to ramp it down just to compress to some numbers, who work where, what kind of work, what should we prioritize, which tickets, and so on and so forth. So without long communications and talks, probably this is for everyone is beneficial. And this is the last slide from my presentation. And yeah, this is like a motto from the top. And yeah, usually if we survive, if we learn our lessons, it makes us better. It makes us stronger. So yeah, and we understand that such kind of crises, they can teach you something, how you can manage this stuff, how you can work with this. And you are more skillful and prepared for more difficult time. But of course, definitely it's better to avoid this. Another point is sometimes if you learn the lesson, you understand the atmosphere there, you understand how work is going, you understand that you can speed up something, and delivery can be improved and be faster. And another also point, when you got for the first time to this push and this vivid picture of who is the customer, all these changes, probably some initial data was initial team and data, which was not enough. You realize, like, if you survived the first push, if you adapted to this, if you aligned yourself to this, usually after that it's easier to communicate. If everything deteriorates and goes worse and worse, then probably either you do not know something, miss the point, or maybe the customer is just something unpredictable and just crazy from my point of view. So I hope, guys, that it was really helpful for every one of you. If you have any questions, you are free to ask also. And before I will pass microphone to my colleague, enjoy your festivities, Christmas festivities, and have happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Okay, Vitalik.
Hey everyone, thank you Aleix from his presentation. I'm gonna share my thoughts on a different topic. And yeah, you guys can see my screen. And Aleix will disappear soon. And so we can start our presentation. So my name is Vitaly Kantish. I'm a senior front-end engineer. Aleix and I, we're working on the same project. Aleix just now sharing a context of this project, so you have a high level of view. And I am responsible for 3D part of the application. Today, I'm excited to show you guys a real challenge that we faced working on this project. This challenge is we should make visual appearance of our 3D part of application using a 2D picture as the only requirement. Of course, it's not a correct way of doing this, but we kind of have to do it. And I would say the challenge itself and the process was entertaining. That's exactly why the topic of the presentation called how to turn 2D picture into 3D application using Three.js. So, of course, this approach has some challenges. Using a 2D picture as a blueprint for visual appearance, it's not exactly a correct way doing this. And it's obvious that this approach has its own limitations. First of all, a 2D picture does not cover all the requirements. It's only show the final result, but know exactly how to reach it. And very often, this show a final result only from one specific camera view and from one specific zoom level. So in this case, achieving a 100% match is not realistic because it's hard to predict how 3D application should look like from the all different camera angles and what is important, more likely, image was enhanced with such tools as Photoshop to make better lighting, to make better shadows, to make everything perfect. Because it's really easy to sell a perfect image to the customer and say to customer, so this is a perfect image, and this exactly how application should would look like on the end. So we have one more challenge. It's a wrong expectation from the beginning because, as I mentioned, matching 100%, it's not realistic. So, and let me introduce you a solution. How exactly we manage to resolve this situation. And this solution covers like technical part and organizational steps. I will show you how exactly we solve this problem. So first of all, to be able to implement the solution, you need to be able to get familiar with Three.js tools that allowing us to change in visual appearance. I will show some of these tools later on the presentation, but now keep in mind that Three.js allow us to change lightnings, shadows. There are some post-processing effects. There are some textures, colors, different types of camera angles. So, and the crucial step for challenge success is setting up the real-time adjustment system. We're doing it using Leva library. Later, I will show you how exactly we set up this. By implementing the solution, we be able to kind of show immediate result. Like we change the lighting, and we can see our changes in real time. And by implementing this step, it's possible to collaborate with other people to resolve the problem. And the next step, it's also very crucial. We collaborated with a 3D design expert. Why exactly do we need to do this? As you remember from previous slide, we have a 2D picture as a requirement for 3D application for visual appearance. We can't predict how exactly we can reach this effect, but today 3D design expert can share his expertise, and he can say like, use this camera angle, use this type of lighting, and etc. So by implementing the previous step, we can see results immediately. 3D design expert share his expertise, and I will apply his expertise immediately. Okay, so let's talk about how exactly I manage this situation from technical part. I can't share with you guys the exact showcase from the project and show pictures before and after. So for this reason, we're setting up the initial project, and we can implement our solution here by doing steps above. We can set up initial project, and we can work with our solution here. So this is our real-time adjustment system. As you can see, here it's a real-time parameter tuning using Leva library. Here is a hook called use controls. Inside, we setting up some variables. In this case, it's spotlight intensity and spotlight color. Here is the settings we can change to see changes on a kind of real time. So also this hook returns these variables, and we should use these variables instead of regular one. For example, use state or use ref or so on. This is how exactly it look like in application. As you can see, at the right top bottom, there are some technical panel. We can expand it and see our variables here. So we change it. So we change it here, and we see results immediately. No need to reload the application. This behavior saves us a lot of time. And we don't need such tool on a production environment. So we can set up production environment and hide it only for production and show it on development. So there is also one showcase of this real-time adjustment system. As you can see, we set up light here. We use variables that we set up here. Instead, just a static or a use state. And we can see the results here on the right top panel. We can adjust all the settings, and we can see our results immediately. All right, and I will share with you guys Three.js tools for visual appearance. As you remember, to be able to solve the issue, you need to get familiar with tools for changing visual appearance that I show above. Let's discuss it. So, dynamic light and shadow for depth. Three.js allow us to use different types of lighting. And on the next slide, I will show you how dramatically just a simple lighting setting could dramatically affect the scene. Material. So Three.js also allowing us to change materials and textures. For example, we have some model. We can apply a texture here. Also, we have tons of settings on these textures. For example, I can repeat a texture thousands of times and save a lot of memory. Okay. Also, we have post-processing effects. This I will show you showcase too a little bit later. Post-processing effects allow us to reach any effect. As you can see, so without post-processing effects, Three.js has some tools like there are only basic lights, and it's look all basic, But applying a post-processing effects, we can make it super realistic, and we can make it if we want to look like on some video game. There are some color correction, some glow effects. So yeah. Also, we have camera controls. It's like it describes from what perspective we are looking at the scene. We have environment mapping. It's we can set up environment mapping and it's great for realistic lighting. And we have custom shaders. It's allow us to implement the animations. And here I want to show you a showcase how dramatically a simple light setup could affect the scene. As you can see here, there are some basic lights, but on the screen on the bottom, we adjust it a little bit, make intensity like lower, and turn on the shadows. And this simple setup will bring our scene on completely different level. Okay, and here post-processing effects. It's adding some final touches on the scene. It's like we can compare it to the Photoshop. So a photo without editing, it's a basic Three.js, but photo with editing, it's a Three.js with post-processing effects. It's like on photo. You can see like a color correction is not great, shadows is not great. We can tune here, and here, and post-processing effects that are allowing us to do this. And here some lesson learned. So turning a 2D picture in a 3D application was successful at the end. But we realized that this method has limitations. If you guys has a similar situation on your projects, you can use our setup. It will help. And the next point, that expert collaboration was a key to overcoming these challenges. Because it's really important to not bother to collaborate with expert. If you can see that your expertise isn't enough, and you need people with expertise, just ask for help. And using a 2D image as a sole guide for 3D design isn't ideal. So in a best case scenario, we should have like a detailed requirements, how it should look like from all the different camera angles, what types of colors we should use, what types of effects we should use, and we should at least see how application should look like from all the perspective. And the most important one, how to prevent this situation in future. It's involving a 3D artist as early as possible at the project, and working with 3D artist while you're working on a 3D scene. Like you have 3D scene that are growing from week to week, and you can see and by collaborating with 3D expert, you can see on early stages what can be improved and what can be goes wrong. So I guess that's it. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead. It seems like we don't have any questions.
Sorry. Now it's technical issue from my side.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can hear too.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing so many insights with us. Thank you, guys. Let me check if we have questions in the chat. Not so many, but I do. I have actually a lot of questions, but before asking, I want to say thank you so much for surviving and delivering. Yeah, because I know, guys, what you've been through. I've been through similar situation this year, so I know how much different it is to show delivery excellence, to not get nuts, to not burn out, to take care of your team, not lose it. I know. I understand. So thank you so much. And if somebody who've been through the same situation is watching us live or watching this recording, thank you too, guys. If nobody told you this, then we will be the ones who will tell you. So thank you so much. We know how hard it might be. Yeah, and whatever you guys were telling, I understand every single word. Trust me. Yeah, Alice, I have a question for you. So, really, how to avoid a disaster on a project? Uh, Imagine there is somebody who is in the same situation, or imagine it was you before you went through all this experience. Just in a few sentences, what would you tell to that person, to the engineer or manager, or to yourself? I don't know, 1 year back.
I would say that keep going, man. There will be a happy end. At the end, we will win.
Yeah, that's
Just encourage yourself.
yeah. I feel like I would tell the same. Yeah, just keep going. Really, just
You know
keep
what? Yeah,
going.
this is not only about your technical skills, but this is also about your soft skills. Because in such times, you need, from my point of view, perseverance and endurance just to pass this period of time. Because you can avoid overtimes, and you need to work under the pressure. And but you also can manage this. Sometimes we don't know our limitations, but of course, it's much better to avoid such situations. But sometimes it's inevitable.
Yeah, yeah. No matter how hard we try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't predict everything. We're just mere humans, and also.
Yeah, and just maybe don't be upset too much. It's
Yeah,
just work.
yeah,
It's just life. So
yeah.
we can
Yes. That's
everything
all.
can be
Just
fixed. Yeah,
keep in mind that you have your beloved ones, you have your life, you have. The world will not be ended only here on this spot.
yeah,
So yeah, enjoy your life beside
yeah.
this.
Thank you so much. I think that's the very very good advice. The best advice. Yeah, Vitaly, and few questions for you. Really pure magic, and I this is what we discussed with guys before the presentation started, is that really it's another universe, and it's very hard to um, learn and to um, get some experience in the 3D modeling in browser. And I love that, Vitaly, you said that expert collaboration is one of the key points to success. Really, because I I even don't know from where to start. Imagine like I have tomorrow, or I don't know, in a few weeks or in a few months, or I
Mhm.
just no, yeah, let's rephrase. I have an opportunity to work on such project on, or I want to work on such project with 3D modeling. It's a nice thing, visualize something in browser. Yeah,
You should.
it's so how do I start? Would you advise to somebody who is starting? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I get your question, but just not to be afraid of this library. Uh, it's it's also the technical skill that you can like learn, and how to learn it. It's pretty simple. Just go to the official. Just go to the official docs, and see the mm, see the examples, see the API. There are a lot of guides on YouTube, for example. You can ask ChatGPT, and I would say it's not so hard as it seems to be. Just believe in yourself, and one day you will master the Three.js.
Keep moving. Okay. I think that's also like the really the best suggestion here. Yeah, just trust yourself, believe, and keep doing, keep working. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being with us today. It was really, I really enjoyed the talk. It was super insightful. And I think it will be very useful for somebody who will face similar challenges. Yeah, but I hope there will be less challenges. Yeah. Wishing you in advance Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and to all of your beloved ones. So take care. Yeah, and our guests, everybody who's watching this, no matter live or YouTube, wishing you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Or maybe you are watching this somewhere in the middle of the year, then I'm sure there are other things to celebrate. So then congrats with this too. I don't know. Just thank you so much for this opportunity that you're given to us by joining our talks, by watching our videos. We are really enjoying this. So, and really for us, it's a great opportunity to share something with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Happy
Enjoy this
Friday.
time. Yeah.
Happy Friday.